What's up, y'all? I'm gonna wait. Let me see if anybody want to come in before I get started today. What's up, y'all? I don't know if I should do a lesson while we ask. Maybe that's what I do. You can ask me anything if you have any questions about my time in Mexico. Some things I might not share. Um, but we're gonna do a little bit of learning, I guess, on top of it. Let me see. And then I guess I can answer questions that if nobody comes into the live, I can answer questions that I would have had before going. And y'all know what we gotta do. We're supposed to be doing a recap, the second recap for Unit 2. But we can't do the recap for Unit 2 because we only got through chapter 2. Chapter 2. So I mean, we did Unit 1 recap. But they got a recap for each chapter. So maybe we could do a recap um for this unit. Wow, wait. Oh my goodness. Ask me questions. Hopefully somebody coming. Let me see. All right, y'all. Because any question y'all might have, it depends on what kind of question you may have. I might be able to just look it up on here. We can like go over it together. If you have questions about like my experience, I'm going to be doing a video. That's probably what I should be doing instead of being live. Is working on my video. Um, of all the things that I did. When I tell you I went from the gutter, let me see if I can show y'all a picture. Hold on. At one point, I was in China. See, where I'm from, we have a hood, like a few of them. We got a lot of them. Don't get it twisted. We got a lot of hoods where I'm from. Um, and One of the hoods we call Kensington. Everybody knows Kensington because of the amount of crime, the drug use, the um police presence, what else? Lack of resources, um, and the I would say it's diverse. It has it's a large diversity within um within people from non-white backgrounds, but it's a large white population as well. It's like it really is diverse, but not in a for good reasons, because we all know substance abuse has no is not discriminatory at all. It has no preference when it comes to physical appearance. So it'd be, people from all walks of life you'll see. So it's a diverse community, but it's diverse for not so good things. And in my community, it's called Kensington. That's just one of them. But we have many of those. But that's just like the one that everybody talks about. And so, I wish I was able to download it from, all right, y'all. Maybe you could put it in the chat or in the comments and tell me how I can get like a phone. My phone has the pictures, and I want to put them on my laptop. I should know how to do that, y'all. And I want to put them on my laptop. How do I do that? But anyway, if don't nobody tell me, I guess I gotta figure it out. See this screen.
Okay,
There we
so
go.
we have
The
7 more
buttons don't
days.
work on this phone,
7 more days. My hair still.
and it's driving me crazy. My phone broke there, so that was another drama filled moment. But anyway, the place. Oh my god! So we were in the hood where you could tell, like, everybody got their own struggle, and finances is definitely 199 problems, and money is definitely one. Then we ended up going to the resort. Compliments to my mama because I couldn't afford no resort. But shout out to my mama. Her bouginess allowed me to experience the tourist aspect because I didn't want to go there. I didn't go for the tourist aspect. That's just my personality. Um, but she wanted to see what it felt like to be in a hotel and be catered to. So we got to travel from the hood in the car and all of that. Travel from the hood to the hotel zone. And oh my God, like you could see the transition. And y'all not gonna. Oh, I want to tell y'all so bad. I want to tell y'all so bad, but I'm gonna save that part. But yeah, and so from the hotel zone, it was a lot of push and pull between me and my mama, who came to support, trying to take over how we gonna move. But we ended up having a compromise, and so we ended up in a soft medium where we were in the um I guess you could say it's like the center city. It was like this. They call this uh, city central. Where we was like, it was a mix in center city. That's where a lot of the workers. You see a lot of people going to work, switching transitioning buses, because that's where all the buses pick you up. So you come from those like um those outskirts, they come to the center, city central, and then from there they go to the different places like the airport, the hotel zone, um, and all of those like areas. Some people stay in city central because it is where people go to work, and so it was a very hustling, bustling environment. But don't get it twisted. The hood was also hustle and bustle. It was a different vibe when it came to transportation. It was these little buggies that people drove. People transported on motorcycle, on like these like moped type of things. On these like I want to say it looked like um it looked like one of those like little bikes that has a closed in section, but I don't think it was a bike. It was a moped with a closed in section that you could sit in. It was so adorable that I really believe we should have those here in the United States. Um, but the environments were different. The people were different. The people were so different depending on where you were. Um, and I know y'all dying to know about the Spanish portion. Okay, in the area where it was like, considered the hood, most people don't speak English. They don't. They're gonna speak the language that is native to their where they are. And just like we were learning, Spanish is not the only language that they speak, because Spanish was brought to the native people by the Spaniards. So there were people who didn't even speak Spanish. They spoke something else. But I think I only came across like maybe one or two people, and that's when we was in the hood. Um, where like the older people might have didn't speak Spanish because they didn't know what I was saying. Um, and so that part was interesting to actually see somebody who did not speak Spanish. And like it made me wonder, like, why do we call them Spanish speaking countries? Because if anything, then United States would be considered a Spanish speaking country because we speak Spanish here. Like, it's a lot of people who speak Spanish here. There's a lot of people who either know Spanish, learning Spanish, speak Spanish as a first language. Schools teach Spanish. Like, that's how I was introduced to Spanish, was through high school. And throughout high school to college, as y'all know, there are a lot of programs here, free programs, paid programs, universities, um, colleges that teach Spanish. That's like the go-to language to learn when wherever schooling you in. And in fact, middle school, my children go to a school where they learn Spanish, and they only speak Spanish in the school. Like they speak Spanish probably like 90% of the time. So I mean, we should be considered technically a Spanish speaking country. Um, what else? I was able to practice some Spanish, a lot of Spanish. Um, and what I noticed is most people, I probably am recalling maybe one person, and it's hard to determine whether or not this is accurate. Even the one person, but nobody was frustrated with me for not speaking fluent Spanish, even with all that is going on with Estados Unidos. Um, even though Donald Trump is doing what he's doing. I think it's almost like there was a saying. Let me see if I can find a quote. There was a quote somebody said, people, I want to say people of countries aren't the ones who have the issue. It's the governments of the countries or something like that. And I felt that when I was there. The people they the people who talked to me who weren't trying to get me to buy something. I mean, that part was annoying. Um, but if you have like a casual conversation with someone, the first thing they bring up is Donald Trump, and they ask, um, if you like Donald Trump, because they know the American people just don't like him, so they don't really have animosity toward. It's from my experience. This is all my experience. It can be different for anybody else depending on where you go. I was in Cancun, um, and it just felt like in Cancun they don't they don't have no ill will, no animosity toward the people. I think the issue is with the government. And even then, people are still willing to get to the United States. They still want to come. I just found that very interesting. I would have loved to meet the president, but for whatever reason, she did not want to meet me. I don't know. You know, I don't think she knew I was there, but it would have been nice to meet the president because it's in my mind it's that easy. Yeah, but I think I'm gonna do a few videos different on different aspects. One the one group of videos is going to be my experience as a traveler. The other aspect is just going to be the streets, because I recorded a lot. I have a lot of footage of just walking in the area that I was in. It's a very small area, but just walking in that area and taking little shortcuts and going down windy roads and taking back streets. And what I would say is I saw other dark skinned people who were not American. They had accents. And in the United States, I was telling my mom this. In the United States, we get caught up, right, in our traumas here as Americans. Because when we go out, we're so excited to see our people. We're so excited to just be free. We're just like hi to everybody. Anybody who says hi, wants to say hi to us. And oh God, when you see each other, it's like a reunion, even when you don't know them. And for other dark-skinned people from other countries, they don't experience the same trauma where you're around the abuser day in and day out and day in and day out. They're around each other. So there's no like, you're not excited to see another dark skinned person because there would be at home, you see them all the time. And you just move in life like a regular human being. But when you're in this manufactured world, this matrix, some people call it, and you're set free, even for a little while, you you still have that mentality, you know, of like, of just oh God, somebody, another me. And it was another adjustment that I had to acknowledge when I saw Americans. And we all know, if you are in the United States, there are different types of American dark skinned Americans, what we would call black people, different types. And you can't say hi to everybody. That part I know. You can't say hi to everybody. Some people are rude. Some people are um what I like to call manufactured black folk, the ones who are created by the system, that seeks to, do harm against them, and paint them as a in a negative light. They've embraced that identity. And so that group, you had to decipher, you had to separate from that group, because you didn't want to be associated with that behavior and that mindset. And then you had the other group who couldn't identify with you, even though you look like them, because they're not from the United States. Um, and it was just weird. It was just strange. And you just literally had to enjoy just the different energies of people, and not necessarily based on their skin color, if that makes sense. Yeah. So that was my journey. I didn't meet any like real friends or nothing like that. But everybody was kind to me. Um, when it came to, like, certain areas. I really enjoyed the environment. My skin, as y'all can see, I'm melanated now, like dark skin. I love this. I'm usually dark brown anyway, but woo, y'all. So I got a beautiful complexion going. Um I walked everywhere, so I probably lost like 5 pounds in that one week. Or I say maybe 2 pounds. I might have lost 2 pounds, and the food was so different. It tastes different. And the water, I did not get sick from the water. My kids, we was all playing in the water. My son made a mistake and drank the water. Nothing was wrong with that water. We did not get sick. We cooked. We washed dishes with that water, boiled water. Ate local food that they used the water with. We did not get sick. So maybe it's a type of water, like, don't drink like, um I don't know, creek water or something. River water, I don't know. But I feel like that's everywhere. But we did not get sick. The water was fine. If anything, we got sick at the resort, at the what is it? The all inclusive, where they had their own the food. It was horrific. And we got sick from that water. I mean, from that food. They did give us bottles of water, so I guess there is an issue with water to extent. Um, I guess for travelers, I don't know, but they give you a lot of bottled water. Um, at three of the places we stayed at, they gave us a lot of bottled water. Um, what else? Yeah. So I, wanted to share that with you guys. Um, if you have any questions, just put it in the comments, and I'll save it for the next time we go live. Um, I don't know. We at the 30-minute mark, so I guess I'm not gonna do a recap, but I have to do a recap at some point before the weekend is out, because we're moving forward. On Monday, we will start chapter 3 of unit 2. So if you're watching this and you're wondering when we're going to start learning again, Monday. Okay? All right, y'all. I'm going to see if I could continue losing this weight. I don't want to, I did not want to leave Mexico. It felt so good to be there. Um I felt healthy. I always cook. I don't eat like outside food. Oh, they had a Burger King. I took a picture and I'm gonna show y'all. They had a Burger King there. They had a Walmart. They had. I only saw like 2 gas stations the whole time I was there. Um, what else? Whatever places. Oh, they had a lot of like. I don't even know how to pronounce it, but it's OXXO. They had a lot of those. They had a lot of money exchange places, like what I would consider the Mexican version of a cash checking place. Um, yeah, it's like any other place, y'all. I mean, let me take that back. It's beautiful, but don't think you can't go because of a language barrier. Don't think you can't go because of a culture difference. Don't think you can't go um, because it's somewhere else in the world. Okay? You can go. Be safe. Half of the stuff, the documentation I brought with me, even with my kids, half of the documentation they didn't even want. They just wanted my passport and my the what do you call it? The boarding pass. All my other documentation, I paid for all this extra documentation, and they didn't even ask for it. I got insurance just in case something happened. Um, and we were fine. But I just wanted to, just got it just in case. And what else? Yeah. I did not see any cartel people. You did? I mean, maybe if you did, I mean, if I did, I didn't know they were. Okay? Let me put it like that. If I did, I didn't know they were. But you could feel their presence in the people. There were police officers like with the on the trucks with the long rifles and stuff. um you There was always people mentioning, this is to protect us from the cartel. This is so that the cartel don't get in here. And so you knew they existed, but it was never like something off of a movie. You seeing people getting, like, in the United States when we had the Italian mafia. It was nothing like that where I was. And it can be different in other parts. Um, but where I was, it wasn't, there was no like issues. Um, yeah, nobody tried to, abduct us for ransom. We would have been no more because we have no ransom money. Nobody in our family has money for ransom, okay? But other than that, yeah, it was cool. Okay, y'all. I will see you this weekend with some recaps. I'm gonna do as many recaps as I can. And then Monday will be Unit 2, Chapter 3. All right.